Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Rose, here with the Summit Gardens Initiative, here today to talk to you guys about the ins and outs of starting your seeds indoors before it's warm enough to plant outside. So a big thank you to the Hartford Public Library for giving me this platform and this opportunity to talk about gardening. So today what we'll need is a seeding tray, some organic potting mix, compost, some organic garden amendments, water, and seeds. So if you don't have any amendments yet, don't worry about that. You should have plenty of nutrients just in the potting soil to get started. It's just an added bonus. And we'll talk about how you can make your own amendments later. So this is microbial seed guard. It's an inoculant from the BFA, the Bionutrient Food Association, which has a Hartford chapter. I got this for just a couple bucks, and it's gonna really help with germination and nutrition and stuff. So some considerations when choosing seed. In the future, I'm going to be doing some videos on seed saving, but for now, just to get started, we want to look for open pollinated varieties, which means that that the vegetable in question, when you, for example, a squash, when you go to save the seeds of the squash and plant them the next year, it will produce the same exact variety of squash. On the other hand, the F1 hybrid varieties, is when the seed companies hybridize and kind of genetically modify for certain traits. But if you save those seeds and plant them again, you will not get the same variety. So I like the open pollinated because that puts more power in your hands. And some of the companies I really highly recommend are Fedco, which is a worker cooperative that sources seeds all over the world from small and large growers. Seeds of Change, High Mowing, Baker Creek, and companies like this that have a commitment to organic and heirloom and sustainably sourced seeds. Strictly Medicinals is also a good company for herbs. For selecting which seeds to seed in the trays or which seeds to seed outdoors when it gets warm enough, you want to think about the growth pattern of the roots and the plant as a whole. So generally speaking, any root vegetables that are going to develop underground are going to want to be direct seeded or direct planted. So that includes radishes, turnips, carrots, parsnips, beets, things like that. On the other hand, things like greens and cabbage, herbs, things that don't have as heavy of a root structure will usually tolerate being transplanted. So those are good things to start in seed trays. Including broccoli and onions, things like that. So if you're not sure, definitely look it up because it varies by plant. So one more consideration when deciding when to start your seeds, I highly recommend checking out the biodynamic calendar. You can just Google it, and that is based on the lunar and planetary influences on the Earth at a given time. So it will actually show you using little icons which days are most beneficial for seeding and for fruiting plants and root vegetables and leaf development, stuff like that. So this little legend right here means it's a good day for seeding. So it looks like through April 10th is all great days for seeding. So now we'll mix our soil and compost and any garden amendments we want to add to the soil. Making sure it's moist enough so that when you scoop it with your hand, you can make a snowball and it'll stay intact as one ball. Then we'll fill our trays, and I like to make dibbles with my fingers so that when I seed, the seeds will stay in the middle of the cell instead of falling to the side, which makes it hard when they sprout and you're trying to pull them out to transplant them. So I'm labeling my seeds that I've already seeded so I can make sure I remember what's in there. I'm going to put it right here so that you can see from this row onward is ashwagandha. So then now I'm going to start something else. So most seeds germinate best at temperatures in the 65 to 80 degree range, but you definitely want to look it up depending on what plant you're seeding because it does vary. So what if you have old seeds? Would those work? For example, I took out some oregano seeds from my box today and it said 2016. I was like, uh-oh. So the thing is, the germination rate does go down every year that you don't plant them. But depending on the plant, most of the seeds will be viable. You could just double up or triple up or quadruple up in the number of seeds per cell that when you're seeding it. And that will increase the chance of one of them germinating. So now that your seeds are in the cells, you want to sprinkle some dirt lightly over the top and pat it very lightly, so you make sure that that the seeds are covered, but you don't want to dislodge any of the seeds out of the soil, and you don't want to pack it down too hard, because that'll be harder for the seedlings to, the seedlings need to come up, you know, and push their way out of the soil, so you don't want to make it harder for them. Now we want to water in the seeds, ideally with a finer spraying watering can, but we'll make do, you know, with what we have, so just go from a distance and try to make it light. So another way, really good way of watering, if you don't want to compact the soil too much, that makes it harder for the seeds to come up, is by watering in the tray, bottom watering. So I'm going to fill this with water, and ideally have a little more water. So the seed trays have a little holes at the bottom, and if I fill this up and put them in the water, then, you know, by capillary action, it'll pull the water up. So it'll it'll, you know, keep the dirt wet without compacting from the top. So as far as location for keeping your seeds, let's look at several options. So not everyone has access to a greenhouse, which is ideal for starting seeds indoors. I did recently see some pop-up greenhouses and things for sale at Ocean State Job Lot. And they were for sale for various sizes in the $20 to $50 range, so that's definitely an option that's out there. You can probably get it at different garden stores as well. So that's a good option if you do have room in your yard or some space that you can prop up a greenhouse. So if you have a porch, on the other hand, that has good sun exposure, for those that are in the city, another option is putting our tray in a bin with a clear top, which will give it this greenhouse effect. So I'm taking this Sterilite bin that latches, and I'm putting my seeding tray right in, flipping it upside down, and I'm putting the seeding tray right in the top and latching it over, so that the clear bottom is allowing the sunlight through and trapping in the moisture and heat. And the other great thing about doing it in this bin is it's easy access. We can just unlatch the top for watering it and checking on our seedlings. So there's many other ways to start seeds, you know, just being creative with what you have lying around. I know a lot of people start their seeds in egg cartons. I saw this on Facebook the other day, folks saving up their eggshells, and you can kind of rinse out the bottom of the eggshells and make sure they're intact enough to hold dirt. But you can put them all, I've put them here in an aluminum pie shell, just because the aluminum helps to conduct the heat so they stay warm. And now you just fill them up with dirt like normal, and you can put your seeds in that way. When it comes time to transplant the seeds, you'll want to wait till the seedlings sprout at least 2 sets of leaves. And then at that point, they're usually strong enough. If you lightly pull them out of the eggshell, you can transplant them into a pot or into the ground, and it should come all together.
That's amazing.
Right?
What? Show me right now the whole process with this one cup.
Yeah, I will. So you just you're just cutting strips, probably about probably like 3 inches wide. Cut a strip of newspaper. And this is a little tool called Pot Maker. I think it was like $15 to $20, but you know, I bought it last year or the year before, and it's, you know, it'll last you as long as you have it. And so you just wrap the paper around the pot thing. Just wrap it tight. And then you gotta fold over the edge, the bottom. You fit the bottom piece in, it fits right in, then you just mash it together in it.
Germinate.
Yeah, right?
100%.
So very sustainable alternative
Yeah.
to seed trays.
Peace, family. It's Blessings Divine from Samad Gardens Initiative. Shout out to the Hartford Public Library. So one thing to be mindful of as we're starting our seeds, it's the power of positive thinking. One of the most profound things in the universe. See, it's the intention. All life responds to intention and energy. It's no different than a human baby. The baby responds positively and it grows healthier with that love, that nourishment. So let's take a second. Whatever's going on in our lives, you know what I'm saying? Really stop and let's appreciate this moment because we're starting life. That's a very important, very joyous, momentous occasion. And our plants really respond to that very well. If you're stressed out while you're doing it and you're taking that time to be stressed out and you're feeding the plants and the seeds with that stressed energy, it's going to respond in sickness and in weakness. But if you appreciate the plants and you're like, thank you, we're starting this new life, we're having a new brand new beautiful chapter in our lives, it's going to respond in a much healthier fashion. And that's really where the satisfaction comes in.
So thanks for watching and being here with us. If you have any other methods or seed starting successes or failures to share with us, please do that. And a big thanks to the Hartford Public Library for this platform and opportunity. And thanks to Fernando behind the camera. So if you like what you heard, you can follow the Semed Gardens Initiative on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube as well. And you can support us at patreon.com. Some of the support levels include getting sent to your email every month DIY garden amendments and gardening hacks, and also one-on-one consultations for your individual gardening needs, and more fun rewards. In future videos, we'll be going into seed saving, food preservation and storage, herbal and culinary preparations, and other sustainable gardening tips. So stay tuned, and remember, you gotta grow it.